Hey, how y'all doing? I'm back in court. It's a strange situation, all right, but he can't die in two different places at the same time. It's not possible. Well, aren't they always? Ugh, stop making my job harder. Oh. No, that makes sense, I suppose. After all, it wasn't your blood we found. Yeah, that's it. Traces of Officer Marshall. To be honest, I'm just glad she's not admitting to that murder as well. The defense is going to be ready in a few minutes. I don't think I'll be looking at the profiles, because honestly, I don't think it's changed much. I'll skip the badge and I'll go straight to Goodman's ID, which we found inside his wallet at the crime scene in the prosecutor's office. This is the King of Prosecutors trophy that was given to Edgeworth on the day of the murder. And here we have something else related to Edgeworth. It's his knife, and it's also the murder weapon. This ticket proves that he arrived at the lot at 5:12. Here we have the Blue Badger panel, and apparently he was dancing inside the evidence room at the time of the murder. Alright, we have the autopsy report here. Let's check it out. Refresh our memories a little bit. Okay. We have the victim's note here. Let's check that out. We thought it said 67S, when in fact it says SL9, connecting it to a case 2 years ago. The last call Lana made was to Emma Skye, where she mentioned the word muffler. The floor plans of the parking lot. If we now check it, we can see where we found traces of blood. Now this is the evidence I really don't like. It shows the defendant at the time of the crime standing next to the body with blood on her shoulder. Not good. And to go with that, we have the victim's shoe, which was covered in his blood and the defendant's. This is the SL9 switchblade knife, which was oddly found in the parking lot inside a car's exhaust. This is the luminol testing fluid we've been using for our scientific investigations that really helped in the evidence room. This ID card record shows who went into the evidence room on the day of the crime. As you can see, we already have a couple of names, but there are a few gaps. As with the luminol, the fingerprinting set is also helping us with our scientific investigations. This is the reason that Miles Edgeworth was on the ID card record. For some reason, the Chief of Police wanted him to take care of this. We also have the lost item report written by Goodman just before his death. Apparently he lost something. Unfortunately, it is incomplete, so we can't see exactly what he lost, but I imagine you have your suspicions. Okay, and now we have the evidence room floor plans. Let's take a look. Just like the other floor plans, we have also put down where we found the bloodstains with the luminol. You can see there are 3 areas. This rubber glove is related to the SL9 incident, and it was found just outside Detective Goodman's locker. And here is an example of one of those lockers. Due to the fingerprint reader, only the detective who owns that locker can open it. Here's one I made earlier. This unstable jar was originally in fragments in front of Detective Goodman's locker. I managed to rebuild it, but unfortunately there is a piece missing. This is the last thing we found in our investigation. After closely examining a bloody handprint in the evidence room, we now know that these prints belong to Officer Marshall. And that is that. So, let's get on with the show. The defense is ready. I'm just going to throw this out there. Does he have a twin? It's a magician's trick gone horribly, horribly wrong. Right, so for the moment we can forget about the prosecutor's office crime scene. Let's focus solely on the evidence room. Get the fuck out. So that means it's Mr. Meekins. I think he might be in his happy place right now. Oh boy. Good start. Great start. Oh god, who let him bring that in? Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Oh, believe me, you can. You really can. Okay, the witness testimony. Crime report, sir. Although it's not my normal duty, I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. I spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. I fought for my life, then I did it. After that, I passed out, until another officer smacked me awake. There's that glorious family motto again. You just can't fault it. That is exactly right. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get as much information out of him as I possibly can, and I think I might start with that first statement. He says although it wasn't his normal duty, he was guarding the evidence room that day. Why? And there you go. That explains why the police force fuck everything up all the time. You know, it's not just his face, it's not just his little legs, it's the music that goes with it. Truly the stuff of nightmares. Right, I really need to know if this guy was actually Detective Goodman, so I'm going to press him again. Oh yeah, he's right. I didn't think of that. Well, that does actually fit. Detective Goodman must have gone in there just moments before he did. He was suddenly attacked? Brilliant, tell me more. Oh, okay. And that's how he cut his hand? Yeah, in my experience, flailing like an octopus never really works. This has got to be the most important part. He said he did it. What did he do? You know what? I like this guy. And this is his last statement. I pressed all the rest, so let's do it again. Well, thank the Lord for that. I bet everyone was starting to get really worried. Well, fairly? Oh, right, yeah, the videotape, yeah. He did mention that a camera caught him. Well, apparently not. Pay close attention, everyone. This is important. That really is the best. If you want to have another look at that security video, then go back a minute, because I think if I examine it again now, it's going to show up in the top right for you, and things won't be so clear. Okay, it's testimony time yet again. This time, Mystery Man. His face can't be clearly seen in the video, but there's no question that the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. I mean, he opened the locker, which required Detective Goodman's fingerprint to do. The locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir. So it must be him. No one else could have unlocked it. Well, he did open Detective Goodman's locker, so it must be Detective Goodman, right? Okay guys, after watching the video and hearing what Meekins has just said, do you see any contradictions? His face can't be clearly seen in the video. That's true. No question that the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. Is that right? Let's keep going. In fact, let's go right to the end. The point of this entire testimony is really about this locker and Detective Goodman opening it. However, I don't think it necessarily had to be Detective Goodman. Well, yeah, obviously. Of course that was going to happen. You make me point out the page in a one-page document sometimes. Yes, it is. Thank you, Nintendo DS. I really don't know. If he's hiring recruits, who hired him? And pause. And let's take a look at this. I will fucking hunt you, then I'll eat your kids. I don't give a fuck, 'cause I'm the blue badger. It seems this locker was unlocked even before he reached out for the handle. Bloody hell. How would you describe this guy? Animated? Well, I don't think it broke down. The light was still on after all. What you said, Your Honor. Novices should keep their mouths shut. Apparently there's something else in this video that seems out of place. Did you spot it? Okay, so I've got to find in the video the cause for why the locker wasn't locked. It actually sounds like this might be quite a hard thing to do, but to be honest, you probably noticed this. To figure this one out, all you really have to do is pay close attention when the evidence locker is opened. And what have we here? It's nice that you don't have to listen to that music every time we watch the video. I swear, when I'm an old man with dementia and Alzheimer's, when I've forgotten all about these games, I will never forget that tune. Objection! Wait, what was that? He falls... What? He rolls out the door... What? This guy, man. This fucking guy. What the hell? Yes, I did find something at the scene of the crime that would fit that bill. It's another piece of evidence from the SL9 incident. It is, of course, the glove. It's not looking likely, is it? As we know, he can't die in two places at the same time, and we found the body in the car park. So, this might be an imposter. Hang on one moment. If he's certain that this is in fact Detective Goodman, then how does he explain the photo taken by Angel Starr? I don't think this guy is ever sure of anything. If it is, it better have one hell of a punchline. Here we go then, another testimony. This one is Mystery Man 2. There's one other thing that proves the man was Detective Goodman, sir. To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card. When an ID card is used, there's a record of it. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card. Unfortunately though, that does not prove it's him. Oh, okay, that explains it. I thought it was a bit strange that the room was so small. I'm pretty sure I can present something to this testimony without even having to press him. Let's go to that last statement. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card. This is the part I have a problem with. You may have had your suspicions, but there is that possibility that Goodman didn't have his card. I know that on the lost item report it doesn't actually say what was lost, but if you imagine that he did lose his card and the person in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman, everything makes sense. Hey, you're not as stupid as you look. The person with Goodman's ID was not Detective Goodman. And he also went a step further than that, because not only did he steal his ID, but he also dressed like the detective. That wasn't really the response I was expecting. Yes, that could be the case, but if it is, I don't think Phoenix quite understands what that means. Ah, that reminds me. The next time I see the blue badger, I'm gonna take that fucking flag from its hand. We may have figured out what really happened in the evidence room, but in doing so, we fell into a trap. Well, I don't think it was likely it was a complete stranger. It must have been someone who knew him in some way. And as for where he disappeared to, I'm not really sure. One thing is for sure though, I am not going down without a fight. What were the odds that his face was not caught on camera during that fight? And I just have to assume that he crawled out the room afterwards. Yes, I think it's about time. This man is now looking more suspicious than ever. Jake Marshall.
Take that!
Quick thinking. Not bad. Right, so I suppose that means we'll be seeing him after a break. Of course, when he does take the stand later on, I'll have to accuse him. Can't she even try to smile? What? This is actually getting on my nerves now. She clearly knows something we don't. Yeah, exactly. I mean, she could be potentially executed for this. What the fuck? Detective Gumshoe, right on time. Wait, what's all this about? That is a large stack of documents. Oh, right, SL9. The SL9 incident files. I'm gonna have to go through them. In fact, let's go through them right now. This might come in useful for the next part of the trial, I'm not sure. It looks like a fairly big document. There are only 4 important pages though. Let's take a quick look. There you go. I'm not sure if that's going to help or not, but I know it's quite odd that I recognise most of those names. This is just getting weirder and weirder. I'll see you on the other side, guys.